Hello, welcome back to another episode of Joyful Mate. I'm your host on the Joyful Journey Mentor, Anthony Hartcher, and this episode is recorded from Bulongo Island, which is in Uganda, and I'm travelling through the jungle of the island and just thinking about what I wanted to share with you today, and it's very much my experience from the trip thus far. So yes, I'm visiting my brother in Kampala and just seeing the Ugandan life, and it's really beautiful to stay with Ugandan families and really experience what it's like living in Uganda and understanding their culture. So I've certainly been inquiring about the things they do and the way they do things and their way of life. And this episode is titled "Life is What Happens," and it's a quote by John Lennon. So I really love this quote. It really sums up well the Ugandan life. They really just see life as it happens and as it unfolds in front of them, as opposed to having expectations of life that I think, if I relate to the Western world, we very much have certain view of the world and we expect that view to play out, and a lot of this shaping comes from movies and fantasies and fairy tales, and so it's these really unrealistic expectations. And I've seen it with my children around relationships, and they expect the relationship to be happy ever after, and then they see that there's a bit of conflict in relationships, and they think, well, that didn't play out in the movies. And so we really get misled by Hollywood and these movies that we watch that are very much just sharing fantasies of the world and not painting a reality. And the reality here in Uganda is that they really, from an early age, see how precious life is. So when they're growing up, they'll have siblings that die and they will experience death all around them all the time. From an early age, they're understanding that life is really precious, and so they have a strong appreciation for living. Whereas in the Western world, we don't have that. We're pretty much immune. Well, we're not exposed to a lot of death. Certainly, it's an expectation that parents will outlive their children. Well, no, it's the other way around. The children will outlive the parents. And so it's, it's because of that expectation. If a parent loses a child, then that becomes really difficult. Whereas here in Uganda, it happens and it's not uncommon. So therefore, they don't have that, I guess, unrealistic expectation of the world, that it's unfair when a child passes before the parent. And so these sort of things that you find out about and learn about, you then realize how much we sort of paint this picture, like in terms of parents, that we should live to the life expectancy of 80 but in Uganda, then parents are passing a lot earlier. And, like when kids are very young, parents are passing. And so they don't have that view of the world. Their view is life is what happens. And from that reality, you really embrace life for what it is, as opposed to projecting a fantasy on life and thinking this is the way it should be and I've been unfairly dealt with, or life's unfair. So the Ugandans don't have that view at all. It is what it is, and you live with it, you deal with it, you move forward with it. So that's what I've found is a real, I guess, revelation, I think, in terms of, just seeing how they see the world and then overlaying that to how us Westerners see the world and how we really set ourselves up for thinking that life's hard and unfair. The other one I've come across is their view of working. So work is a way of life. It's not like you go to work to earn money. It's sort of, work is life. In the Western world, we think, oh, it's unfair that I've got to go to work. I'd rather be, doing these other things. And so we sort of have this relationship with work that's unhealthy in a way, because work makes up the majority of what we do in life. And so the Ugandans really embrace it. They embrace work for what it is. They're grateful that they've got work, and they just do it. And they don't have this. The other thing in the Western world is once we start working, we're just looking forward to retirement. Well, Ugandans don't see it that way, because they will have the realization that retirement may never eventuate, and that work is just part of life. And so they just work and they really embrace the work, engage with it, and they enjoy it. Whereas, you look at the Western world, we're very much thinking, when's work going to finish? I just want to finish work. And then, that's every day. And then, then you're looking forward to retirement, and it's always delaying embracing life as it is, which really defers happiness in a sense, because if you then think that, life's going to be so much better when I retire, then you're putting that expectation when you finish work, right? So therefore, you're delaying that constant feeling of being content, satisfied, and delighted about life as it is and what's in the present. So that really makes us experience less forms of happiness, because we've linked it and attached it to being retired, that this is, I'm going to have so much more fun when I'm retired and I'm not working. Whereas if you embrace life as it is, then there's joy everywhere, in every moment, all around us. And we just experience so much more fulfillment in life by embracing every day and treating life as really precious, that every day is a blessing to be alive. And this is how the Ugandans live. They really just value life so much more than what we do, in a sense that we take it for granted. And so that's the real take-home message, is that we really need to be appreciative of every day and embrace it and engage it. And even if it's work, really embrace it. Embrace every moment of it and get the most out of it. Like, you just look at the Ugandans, when they're working, they enjoy themselves. They're having fun. And they don't take it seriously. So work's not taken seriously. They really just go in there and enjoy it, and they don't stress out about it. And I think this is part of a Western, thing, is all about productivity and KPIs and all that. The Ugandans are less about that. It's sort of, well, I'm going to be doing this for a lifetime, so doesn't matter if I hit the target, and so there's a real different philosophy around the view of work and how quickly things need to be done or not done. So I'm just hopefully brushing off some mosquitoes here as I walk through the jungle. I certainly don't want to get bitten too often. So yes, just really sharing those insights. It's certainly the first things I've come across in Uganda, is that really life is what happens. They don't have unrealistic expectations on life. They just live the moment way more than what we do in the Western world, because we're thinking about how much better it will be in retirement, and so it takes ourselves away from the present moment, and we can't enjoy it when we're thinking about the future. So it's really nice to see that the Ugandans can really embrace life as it is, treat it as very precious, be grateful for being here every day. And I really just going to continue to share some more insights as I learn more about the people. And so thank you for tuning in to another episode of Joyful Maze. Until next time, continue to find joy in every day.